and you just see people smiling and laughing and dancing in the middle of the street,
Yeah.
and someone singing and playing there, and it's just,
Yeah.
it is the purest form of community that you'd ever see.
Yeah.
The other side of that is creating relationships with my other city council folks.
Yes.
Is making sure that we see eye to eye and that we all have an understanding of what our job is.
Right.
This is where we're more than likely moving to in 20 years. Let's begin to make decisions today so they don't have to make them in 2040.
Thanks for joining me today, and I just wanted to take a moment and really speak to the heart of why I'm here doing this podcast. It's for viewers just like you. I need your support, and the best way for you to do that is to like and subscribe to all of my videos. It allows you to get the first updates when new content comes out and really lets me know that you're enjoying the content. You know, I love some of your history, the fact that you have been raised up, you know, here in McDonough, Georgia. I myself as well have been raised up here. And I love this city. You know, I love the way it breathes. I love walking around, you know, in the city of McDonough. So, you know, tell me a little bit about, you know, kind of your upbringing here and what that means for you.
Yeah, so, you know, I was raised right here in McDonough, right in Church Circle, the local housing project, and it was a very different McDonough then, right? You're talking 2,000 or 3,000 people. My parents, before they passed, you know, owned a gas station here, and we just, you know, it was a farm town. So, you know, you grow up where the demographics, I mean, it was very mixed here. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't anything crazy, and you had friends on both sides of the tracks, and we had a great time. I mean, it was a great upbringing here in McDonough, and I think, you know, some of the things that we look back on, you know, walking on a dirt road or picking plums off of a plum bush, those are things that we did right here in McDonough.
Right.
I go to the grocery store and I'll see muscadines for sale, and it's probably about 10 in a pack for like $8. And I said, we just picked these off of a bush.
Yes.
And so, you know, things, they inevitably change. And so that's sort of what has happened in McDonough. You know, after I graduated and you know, did the college thing and started a family, went into corporate America and came back to McDonough in 2010.
Okay.
And I was in Chicago at the time, and I thought, you know, there's no better place to raise a family than McDonough. That was my thought. And so I brought my family back to McDonough, and all of my kids went to Henry County schools, graduated from Henry County High, McDonough High. But there was a magic that McDonough had that I thought that I wanted my kids to experience. There was a toughness. There was something about seeing our old mayor walk around the town square and seeing local business owners who may have served in public office, but they operated their little small business.
Yes.
And seeing how people helped. If you're broke down on the side of the road, you wouldn't be there long because somebody stopped and said, hey, you need some help. It was that Southern hospitality thing.
Yeah.
And I learned that when I moved up north, you learn that Southern hospitality is a real thing. It's not made up. It's a real thing. It doesn't exist in some places. And so to bring the kids back here and to see that and for them to experience that was magical. What I wasn't expecting, though, is some of the growth that we've experienced. And with growth, you know, there comes some pains. But it has been a journy. And so, you know, I came back and started businesses and, you know, helped behind the scenes.
Yes.
Had been approached for years to run for office. And it was, what I said to them then at that time was, you know, the most important thing I can do for the city is to be a dad.
Yes, sir.
Is to be a parent.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ensure that my kids had access to me and that I was there on the sideline. And that nothing came before that. Scripture talks about what profit a man gain the whole world and lose his soul. And I didn't want to go out in corporate America, and I felt that was, you know, kind of my exodus to corporate America, is that they paid me exceptionally well to do what I did.
Yes.
But I was at home. And when I came home after a week of travel, I was stressed, I was tense, I was tired, grumpy with the kids, and I said it didn't matter that we had a beautiful home and enclosed pool and they had whatever they needed. They didn't have me. And the times they did have me, it wasn't a great time because Dad was griping about whatever. And so coming back to McDonough was a reset for me. It was an opportunity to smell the roses, an opportunity to walk down the street and see these beautiful buildings and trees and the history. And it was a reset for my mindset. To be present and to show up. And so coming back to this place made me a better dad, and better parent, more aware of what was going on with our kids. So.
I love that. Thank you for just adding a little bit of that context. Because things have changed. Here in Henry County over the past 15 years, and I would say half of our residents who live here are transplants. So they don't have a connectivity to the history, to that old kind of Southern way of being raised up. And one of the things that I think a lot of people put a lot of stock in, is that word demographics, right? So how and what specifically has changed, right, in the demographic shift here in McDonough and in Henry County?
So when we speak of demographics, so you look at it a few different ways. Most people will use that as relates to race. And so Henry County is predominantly African American now. That wasn't the case 15, 20 years ago. And with that, you see, and that's with any major demographic shift, whether it's black, white, or Hispanic, whatever that looks like, you will see a shift in your local governance. You will see, and where that shift happens, now there are mindset shifts in how we govern and how we will build a place. And what I've noticed in the South is, and I won't necessarily say in the South, but in some smaller towns, you have a lot of people that are from there that don't want to get into politics. And so the people that do get into politics are not natively from the area. They transplant, and what essentially they do is they bring a mindset and an energy for what they experienced growing up in their hometown to this hometown. And there was a piece of advice I received when I was running. They said, well, when you get out and you see other places, you'll see other things that may fit in McDonough. And I pushed back against it and said, well, not necessarily, because what may work in Louisiana may not work in McDonough. That's just what it is, because there are cultural differences, right? And so we have to be mindful of those things. Well, when you have individuals that are from a town that don't get involved in the politics, and you have individuals that come from other places that understand the power of your local politics and your local government and how that can shift the energy of a town or a county, then if you're not willing to get behind the wheel, someone else is going to drive the car. You may not like where it's going. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but it's different than what you're used to or what you would want to see. And so that is sort of what led into this running for public office now and getting involved, because we've just in McDonough, we've seen McDonough grow over the years. And there's nothing more frustrating than seeing the community that you grew up in, your district, that's not growing at the rate that everything around it is growing. And that's frustrating, because you know that their investments are in the community. But yet this area is not seeing the bare minimum. You're not seeing the maintenance of our parks and the building of new affordable living in these areas, new companies, new retail outlets, new jobs and opportunities. You don't see those. And it takes a very pointed effort, a very intentional effort to make sure that those things are happening. And it's the good trouble, that we talk about, is pushing back against what that norm would look like. To bring something that it may have remnants of the past, But we also look forward to the future. We also look forward to ensuring that our kids and our grandkids have a version of McDonough where they can prosper and be great and have opportunities.
Yes.
Even if they move off to college or military. My sons, I have 2 sons, went off to the military. One came back. One is still in North Carolina. But
Yes.
To be able to come back to a place that raised you and be able to come back and serve and benefit into the local community. So
Yes.
that is, so when we speak demographics, that's sort of what that is. Again, I don't believe that it's bad.
Right.
But it is different. And
Yes.
this is why all should be involved at some level, if not running for a public office, serving on a committee.
Yes.
Speaking with your local politicians to make sure that they're not making decisions without you.
Right.
That they know how you feel about a thing, and they may not vote the way that you want them to vote.
That's right.
But they can't say they didn't know how you felt.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's important as we talk about it moving
That's
forward.
right. This episode has been brought to you today by Just Kingdom Sports, a local organization here in Henry County that provides athletics. This August, they have soccer that will run for 8 weeks where your child can get educated support from trained professionals. They'll get games, they'll get uniforms. It's a really great opportunity for your children to stay busy and be educated in athletics this upcoming August. You can reach them at justkingdomsports.com or on any of their social media profiles at Just Kingdom Sports. So one of the things we talked about in a previous conversation, and you just brought it up again, which is this idea that bringing a culture or bringing an idea from where I grew up, which you said Louisiana, so we'll go with that. And so what I see is like Mardi Gras, right? So can you envision our town being like Mardi Gras, right? Where people are throwing beads and strumming on trumpets, walking down the street, and share a little about that.
It is interesting that you say that because I actually want that to happen.
Okay.
I don't want the beads, but I do want. I think they call it second line, where they're walking down the street. But this was the energy behind that.
Yeah.
There's such community that encompasses some cultural ideals, right? So when you get on YouTube and you look at someone doing second line, they're walking through a neighborhood, and you just see people smiling and laughing and dancing in the middle of the street, and someone singing and playing there, and it's just it is the purest form of community that you'd ever see.
Yeah. Share a little more what second line is. What is
second line? Yeah, second line is, so you will see, and I don't know the history behind second line, but what you'll see is a group of folks just walking down the street. You may have a singer, you may have a drummer, and they're just dancing and having a blast walking through a neighborhood.
Okay.
They're just walking down the middle of the street,
Yeah.
dancing and laughing, and you'll hear someone singing a song about whatever, mostly blues, things like that. But it is an energy that you can't deny. There is a band that I watch on Facebook, and this gentleman, their band, they go around the country, and I saw them in, I think they were in Vermont.
Yes.
Now, you can't get more from Louisiana than Vermont.
Yeah.
And they're in a neighborhood, they're just walking through and they're having a blast. Now, even if it's only 40, 50 people walking down the road, we are in a time in our country where our politics have divided us.
That's right.
At something that we could never imagine. There has always been a difference of opinion, depending on party.
Yes.
We didn't see political violence. We didn't see that. We saw two individuals, and I heard the late John McCain at a town hall years ago when he was running against President Obama. And at the town hall, there was an older lady that stood up and was making some disparaging remarks about President Obama. And he checked her. John McCain checked her and said, "No, ma'am, it's not true. He's a good man, he's a good husband, a good father."
Yes.
He says, "We want to go to the exact same place. We just want to take different routes." He says, "No, ma'am, I'm not going to let you do that. Have a seat."
Yes.
And he went on to the next person. That type of integrity in our politics now is long gone,
Yes.
where I respect you as a fellow American or a fellow politician, and
Yes.
but I'm not trying to destroy your character.
Yeah.
I'm not calling you the enemy. We both grew up in a time where we could have a difference of opinion in our politics and not view the other person as the enemy.
Yes.
Well, that's not where we are today. And if we're not careful and very mindful of how we carry ourselves,
Yes.
we can easily slip into that place. I did, 2019.
Okay.
It was a very dark place because
Yes.
our politics had gotten very dark.
Yes.
And I purposely went into a bar that I knew had patrons that did not vote the way I voted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went on a listening tour. I didn't go in there to convince anyone of anything. I just wanted to find common ground. I just wanted to hear. Now that was something that I just consciously said, I can't walk around angry, frustrated, and ready to battle.
Yes.
That I have to understand someone else's thought process, because sometimes you only have one candidate to vote for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we all do it. We'll find one thing to hang our hat on, and whatever candidate kind of jumps on that bandwagon, we'll ride with that. Though I may disagree with everything else on your platform,
Right.
I agree with this one thing, and so I have to back you.
Yeah.
And
So do you feel like, and I hear what you're saying about national politics, right? About presidential elections, senatorial candidates. But do you feel like that level of difficulty and polarization exists here in McDonough?
absolutely,
Okay.
it's unfortunate. If looking at social media, you'll see that there's been a big blow up about our new beautiful fountain on the square. Well, that's owned by the county, and the county, invested in that, and it's a beautiful investment. There are thousands of comments that are disparaging against it, wasteful spending, blah blah blah, and they're right down party lines.
Yeah.
It's right down party lines, and it's unfortunate because as a county, we have to create kind of this balanced way of living,
Yes.
and this transparency.
Yes.
And they're very transparent in how, it wasn't a surprise of what they were spending. It wasn't a surprise of what they were doing.
Right.
But when you have some individuals that will say, well, I don't agree with it, now my disagreement becomes an attack.
Yeah.
It becomes a judgment of your entire service,
Yeah.
which is it's just not fair. And so it can be very polarizing here locally, unfortunately. With the city of McDonough, I'm blessed to be working with fellow council members and a mayor that we have our disagreements. We push back against each other, but we try to stay as civil as we can.
Yes.
It is. I honestly believe that is, kind of the hallmark of our society is disagreement, and I think that's how we grow.
Right.
I may not see it the way that you do, and it's okay that I tell you that.
Yes.
And then it's okay that you tell me sort of where you stand,
Right.
and we still go and eat some wings after this, and that's like life's okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to hate you because you didn't vote the way that I wanted you to vote.
Yeah.
And unfortunately now, and I think this is because of some of the mindset of a national politics, locally, God forbid you hold a public office and people just believe that you're a liar anyway. They just believe you're not telling the truth, and and they just put you on a whole nother level. I've had people tell me, well, don't take any bribes. I said, well, this is local politics. I don't want to do 20 years in prison for a $5,000 whatever.
Yeah.
That's insane. So,
That's interesting.
but again, there is this mindset that if you're in public office, that you have to be doing this.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to buy a new car while I'm in public office
Right.
because I don't want someone to say, well, he took a bribe to get this passed.
Right. Right.
And so we work to be as transparent as we can and be as honest as we can. I've spoken with several residents, several constituents since I've been in office, and we have some great conversation. I'll tell them, listen, I understand where you stand. I don't agree with what you're saying.
Yes.
And I can't guarantee that I'm going to vote the way that you like me to vote.
Right.
But I will always make sure you have a voice.
Yes.
I'll always make sure that you're at the table and that the way that you feel about an item or an agenda is known. And I think that's fair.
Right.
That your local politics, not only listen to you, but they're honest with you about what they can and can't do,
yes,
what they can and can't say.
Right.
And I think that is what we want. And it's a tougher conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a tougher conversation.
Definitely.
But
so you've been in office close to 100 days now, right? And so, with politics, we hear about the first 100 days in office, right?
Yeah.
This is a important milestone.
Yeah.
So, kind of share, like, what is it like, right? Having those first 100 days, is it what you expected? Would you recommend other people to run for office and embark on this journey?
that's a phenomenal question. The first 100 days has been drinking out of a water hose. It is. I didn't understand why attorneys would go into politics. Yeah. You would think. I'm thinking, okay, go practice law. No. They go into politics because everything is written legally. Yeah, everything, all of the ordinances, everything. It's this legal jargon. And so you learn this new way of speaking, this new way of understanding. The other side of it is you get to pull the curtain back. Not only from the operational side of how the city operates. And there are issues that are there because an elected official, I don't have control over staff. I can't go up to a public works person and say, hey, you need to go over and, that's not my job.
Yeah.
We have a city administrator and a mayor that handles the staff, the day-to-day.
Got it.
So to go in as a city council person or even a commissioner, their job is local policy, ordinances, zoning, voting on contracts, and that's it.
Yes.
You don't go and tell the landscaping guys, hey, you need to get your stuff together. Like that's not your thing, and that's what I wanted to do, because I'm an operations guy, right? So you walk in and you see, okay, this is where it's broken. Well, I can't go over there and do that. Now I can work with our city manager. I can work with our city administrator and work with our mayor and try to get them to see the way I see it and help them develop something that they can go and implement.
Yes.
But that's not my job. And so the first 100 days you walk in and you have all of these things that you want to accomplish and you back up. I'll give an example. One initiative I wanted to bring was called Beautify the Block for District 1.
Yes.
And that was just bringing volunteers together. I wanted at least 100 volunteers, and we were going to go through District 1 and help people with their homes, a little painting in the front, cut grass, clean up, edge sidewalks, make it gorgeous for District 1.
Yes.
Well, it sounds good on the surface until you start to realize, well, if you're going to be cutting bushes and you need dumpsters, you got to have somewhere to put that stuff. You're going to organize this group. Is the dump going to be open that day?
Yeah.
Well, what city resources do we need or can we use?
Yes.
And so though I was ready to start this in the beginning, you have to take your foot off the gas a little bit and say, wait a minute.
Yes.
There's a little bit more planning that goes into it than just saying I want to do a thing and now go do it.
Yes.
Right? Because you still want to honor our staff and the stuff that they have to do in and throughout the city. And so that was really important to see how it operated on the back end and why we don't do certain things that I think we should be doing.
Yes.
So it's not that everything has been great.
Right.
It hasn't been horrible either.
Yes.
I've really enjoyed learning. I've done a lot of training since. There's a mandatory training the state requires.
Yes.
And then there are other trainings that the Georgia Municipal Association, they offer. And so I went and I'm a learner. So I want to learn what I can and can't do and what our opportunities are in the city. And then the other side of that is creating relationships with my other city council folks.
Yes.
Is making sure that we see eye to eye and that we all have an understanding of what our job is.
Right. This episode has been sponsored by Parrot Marketing, a great media organization that provides end-to-end assistance with all of your marketing needs. the expertise in bringing out the life of your business and really transforming that to your clients. I recommend them for anything that you need to do with a camera, audio, or film. You can reach them at parrotmarketing.ai.
I remember one of our first meetings, I looked at our city council and I told them, I said, you don't work for the mayor. You work for the people.
That's right.
We serve at the will of the people, and the mayor serves at the will of the council and the people, and the staff serves at the will of the council, and that's how this goes. So you have a duty to speak against things if it's not correct.
Yes.
That's your job.
Yes.
And you speak to that, and you speak truth to power, and whatever that brings, it brings. But for God's sake, don't sit here and be quiet. Like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And that is a very different energy than what had been there in the past. And it wasn't that I was trying to fuss but I wanted them to know, I'm here with you, you're here with me, Wonder Twins unite, let's, let's go in and let's make this thing phenomenal, right?
Yes. And I know, people here, who live in McDonough are really invested in kind of the future and direction, that the city is really moving in. So what would be, maybe your top 1, 2, 3 priorities, right, that you have as coming into office and, really making an impact here in your new position?
It is, that is interesting because, well, first, I want to make sure that our local services are delivered with a level of excellence to every citizen in McDonough.
Yes.
It's not something new, but I want to make sure that if your water has been disconnected, that when you call down at this stressful moment, that you get great customer service and someone that answers the phone that wants to help. That when you need public works to come out and look at something, stormwater, that you get great service, that if a police pulls you over and they have to give you a ticket, that they're the nicest, kindest police officer you've ever seen.
That's right.
I want to make sure that we deliver the basics with excellence.
Yes.
If we can't do that, then everything else doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about new buildings and new programs. If the people that are serving the citizens are not operating in a spirit of excellence with what they do on a daily basis.
That's beautiful.
I want to also make sure that we have structured and controlled growth. Listen, there are people who don't want McDonough to grow. I get it. There are folks who wanted McDonough to stay the way it was 20 years ago.
That's right.
And so we have to progress as a city. When we think about our tax revenues, everyone complains about our taxes just throughout the entire county. But there are ways that we can help slow that. And that's through economic development. That's through building and new businesses and companies and things coming to the city.
That's right.
But we have to be mindful of how that happens. Our road infrastructure is important, but we have very little control over it locally because our state roads are owned by the state. They're not owned by us, and so we can't go out and widen a road even though we know it should have been widened 20 years ago.
Right.
We have to wait and partner with other organizations to make sure that these things are done. In the meantime, we have to make sure that we don't grow too fast to overgrow infrastructure, which we've mostly done, unfortunately.
Right.
But to make sure that McDonough is a great place to live, work, and play.
Yes.
To make sure that it's safe, to make sure that we are progressive where we need to be. McDonough, that old school feel can be fine, but we're not in 1995, right? And we have to be mindful of that because families want opportunities for their kids, for themselves, to live, work, and play. And we move to those areas that are progressive.
Yes.
Very few people are moving to some little town in South Georgia that still has old school whatever.
Right.
Very few people are moving to that.
Yes.
And so we have to be mindful of those things. And so change is coming, and I think that change is fine with most if you're honest and transparent about the change.
Right.
If you're mindful about the change. to make sure that we're not overpopulating one little tight area too dense. That's a big deal, right?
That's right.
If it takes me 15 to 20 minutes to get 3 miles down the road to the grocery store, that's problematic, right? And so there are things that we can do, and there are things that the state has also seen that we need to do moving forward. Example, sidewalks. So instead of the smaller sidewalks, the wider sidewalks. Well, why is that important? Where more people now are moving on, smaller skateboards and golf carts and, those smaller modes of transportation. So imagine a sidewalk system throughout McDonough that connects, that's wide enough for you to just take your little golf cart right over to Publix or to Food Depot. So you don't have to jump in a car and get on the road.
Right.
That can cut, for some trips, 10 minutes, 15 minutes each way.
Yes.
And just running down to get some milk.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so those are the forward-thinking things that we have to begin to think about. And more importantly, the fiscal responsibility at City Hall.
Yeah.
Making sure that we are doing skills assessment of all our employees to make sure that we're not hiring people that we don't need to hire,
That's right.
such as private contractors, to do basic things that our city workers can do.
Yes.
To make sure that we're good stewards of the finances of the people.
That's right.
So that we can have, stable budgets, money in the bank. We don't have to worry about robbing Peter to pay Paul, just to deliver basic services. And that we have enough foresight to look 20 years down the road and say, hey, this is where we are. This is where we're more than likely moving to in 20 years. Let's begin to make decisions today so they don't have to make them in 2040.
Yes, that's beautiful. Wow, thank you for just adding all of that together.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I saw just by being a resident here in McDonough, and I feel like it had a major impact on the mayoral election, but the red signs that say, stop the mega development, 1,500 plus housing units, strip mall, I don't know, whatever the red sign said, right? Can you give some context to like what that is?
Yeah.
Is that a problem? Do people have anything to be worried about?
Gotcha.
Because the signs look a little worrisome.
Oh, they absolutely. So there's a development off of, or property off of Zach Hinton across from McDonough High School and the post office, where there was a developer that wants to build what they're calling a McDonough Municipal Complex.
Yes.
And essentially, 1,000 apartments, 190 townhomes, I think 180-room hotel, retail outlets, and some sort of municipal building that McDonough would use in that area. And let me say this first. The citizens' complaints are absolutely valid.
Yeah.
It is a major development in an area that is already dense.
Yes.
This development would bring a lot of traffic to the area.
Yes.
On Zach Hinton is just a 2-lane road.
Right.
Without any of that built today, at the right time of day, probably 2 or 3 times a day, it's going to take you 7 to 10 minutes to get from Racetrack Road to CVS at the right time of day.
Yeah, which is less than a mile.
It's less than a mile.
Yeah.
And so to put something there that's going to bring, an additional probably 20,000 cars a day into the area is not smart.
Right.
It's not smart.
Right.
So that had to go to the state, the Atlanta Regional Commission, to do a study. And the regional impact study looks at the entire area, and it looks at how would this development impact this area.
Right.
And if you're going to go forward with it, this is how you go forward with it. These are the things that we recommend. They're not a deciding body, a determining body. They just give recommendations.
Yes.
Well, that study just completed literally a week and a half ago.
Okay.
And, it's over a year in the making.
Right.
And they have, pages of recommendations. the reality is that development is good if the citizens are involved.
Yes.
If transparency is there. And I think
Yes.
a lot of the frustration with the community is that there was no transparency. It was very much, well, somebody put in an application and for rezoning, and this has to happen first, and then
Yes.
we can say this after this happens.
Yes.
And when that happens, and listen, if you're a private property owner, you can sell your property to anyone.
That's right.
That's your right. And there's a developer's right to buy it
Yeah.
and to seek for a development
Yes.
in that property. But if you're in the city, you have a duty to talk to your neighbors.
Yeah.
You have a duty to speak. And I think that it could have went a lot smoother
Yes.
had we had discussions. Now, the way that the process goes, it comes back, the recommendations come back, and if they choose to move forward with a petition for rezoning,
Yes.
then there are public meetings, the public gets to come in and speak in support or opposition,
Yes.
and then the council votes on the rezoning. Well, that process is beginning to take up now because we've gotten the recommendations back, and public, once they start scheduling these things, if the developer still wants to move forward, then those public hearings and things will take place. What's important is we look at the density of the area, we look at our natural resources, we look at the quality of life shift
Yes.
for communities. There's College Street, there's Bryan Street. Those are very small,
Yes.
just 2-lane streets with.
That's right.
I mean, can you imagine, an additional 1,500 cars a day
Yeah.
in that area
Right.
as cut-throughs,
Right.
right? Can you imagine an additional 20,000 cars a day on Zach Hinton,
Right.
trying to get back out to 75 or get through the city? So there's a lot. There's nothing
Yes.
that will happen immediately.
Right.
This is something that you're probably looking 5 or 6 years or more. There's infrastructure components that we have to do just to continue growing as the city.
Yes.
That nothing can go vertical over there because we don't have capacity in some of our areas, like sewage.
Yeah.
We got to build it. We got to increase capacity. And so a lot of those things have to happen first before anything else can be done.
Beautiful.
That's not to say that smaller developments can't happen.
Right.
But my goal is to make sure that as this moves forward, that our citizens have a voice and a seat at the table,
Yes.
as well as a developer,
Yes.
as well as the city and the folks that we pay, the experts, the staff, because I'm not a planning guy. I'm not a builder,
Yeah.
right? But we have community development folks that are experts that we pay
Yes.
salary to, that work for McDonough, and they work to ensure that the best interest of McDonough is there, and that's the staff side. Then you have the elected official side, where we now have the ear of the constituents. What I have to explain to some citizens, though, is because you're in opposition doesn't mean it stops it from moving forward,
Yes.
right? It may mean that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. And my job as an elected official is not to go and vote how you tell me to vote.
That's right.
That's a puppet, right? And that's just not what you elected me to do.
Yes.
And so I want to make sure that they have a voice at the table and that I do the research that I can present to the constituents very clear and
Yes.
fair, and that I can advocate for what constituents need and want, and advocate for the developer. Why? Because this is potential revenue for the city. But I'm not worried about revenue for the city if it's going to destroy the quality of life for those that are already made the investment
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
McDonough.
Yeah, that's a really beautiful way of explaining that,
appreciate it.
and it definitely adds a lot of clarity, to kind of a muddied, situation. But I do want to speak to just how I got to meet you and how you approached me. You were very kind, and you weren't there as a politician. You were there as a person who loves the city of McDonough. So having leadership like yourself, which is active, honest, engaging, but also you've been raised up in the values and what it means to be a city of McDonough resident. So I'm proud to have you in the District 1 seat.
I appreciate it.
I'm very confident that you will make a great impact, right, in a positive way that brings people together and really does stick to the values, of what Henry County and being a McDonough resident is. So,
I appreciate it.
But I want to thank you for joining me today
Absolutely.
and just having this amazing conversation. Really knowledgeable person you are, and I love just kind of getting to know more about you and your goals that you have for this city. If you want, go ahead and share a little bit, of how people can get in touch with you or a way to contact you at the city, really anything you want to share in closing.
Good stuff. So to reach out to me, you can touch base at McDonoughD1.com, which is a site I've created just for our constituents in this area. My city phone number is 404-295-2350. You can find me on social media at McDonoughD1. That's at McDonoughD1 on social media. And listen, any way that I can serve, I'm here to serve and help and show up and try to do what we can to do it the McDonough way. So
Amazing.
I appreciate you taking some time with me today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, everyone. We just wrapped up another amazing episode here on Chasing Heritage. As always, if you like the content, please follow us and subscribe. This is the only way that we're able to continue having the best interviewees. We have some exciting people upcoming, and so this also puts you first in line to get notifications and make sure you never miss anything on Chasing Heritage.